Hold on. Just to give you the heads up, if you are speaking, Coach, we can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. I'm not speaking quite just yet. Yeah, I appreciate it though, because I did have some audio issues.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. We'll get things going. Appreciate it.
Come on.
All right. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live Asian session. I'm your host for tonight's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage, and we are both so happy and grateful for each and every one of you being here with us this evening as we take a look at the technicals, the fundamentals, see what we can take advantage of in the Forex market. So without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions, grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we continue to participate and engage. You all always do an excellent job of doing that. So without further ado, let's do one more quick check. Drop me a 1. Let me know that you hear me loud and clear, and we can get things going. I believe I have the technical issues all taken care of. All right, I appreciate it. So we are ready to rock and roll. And let me clear this out. Head on over to the Forex Factory. Ryan, good evening, sir. How are you?
My brother, I'm doing well, man. Doing well. It was a good day. How are you?
Man, I'm doing great now. These technical issues out the way.
Yeah, man. Technology is lovely.
There's always a mess when the auto updates hit your computer right before the right before the session starts. So yeah, and I missed the delay. But anyways, we are here now, is all good. So everybody, today, right, we got the CPI numbers that came out for Canada, and we see that they came in right around where they should have. CPI missed just a little bit for Canada, but then when we look at the core retail sales number, is really what everybody was waiting on here in the United States, and we see that it came in hot. So consumers are still starting to spend. Of course, it's lagging looking at the previous month. So puts the Fed in a conundrum, right? You know, well, not necessarily say the Fed, but the markets. The Fed has been pretty steadfast in what they needed to do and what they were looking at and what the target rates are. This just gives it more evidence, you know, and more data to just continue to move forward with their plan, and that is to get inflation under control. So we got a print of 1.3% today, which was above forecast. And if we go over to retail sales, so trading economics, right? So you can get into the nitty gritty. You can see retail sales in the US surged 1.3% month over month in October, the strongest increase in 8 months. So go figure. In 8 months, after a flat reading in September and beating market forecasts of a 1% gain, sales at motor vehicle detailers were up 1.3% as supply chain constraints have been easing, while rising gasoline costs push sales at gasoline stations 4.1% higher. So excluding gasoline and autos, retail sales are up 0.9%. Other increases were seen for sales at food services, drinking places, right? Folks out and about, 1.6%. Food and beverage stores, 1.4%, right? Non-store retailers, 1.2%. Furniture, 1.1%. Building materials still, even what's going on in the real estate market, 1.1%. And health and personal care up 0.5%. On the other hand, sales were down for electronics, sporting goods, hobby, musical, and books. In general merchandise stores, October data pointed to resilient consumer spending despite high inflation and rising borrowing costs. Retail sales aren't adjusted for inflation, right? So it's one of the things that we've seen coming about a pandemic, at least here in the United States, that because of all the stimulus, citizens are sitting on money, right? And now we're coming out, you know, we're breaking out. as you can see where some of the price increases are. So folks are out and about spending, and now we're in the holiday season. We shall see. We shall see as these retailers are sitting on a ton of inventory. We're going to see how they handle that with the holiday season upon us. So still looks like to me, Ryan, you can let me know your thoughts that if it's going to, I don't think, like I said, maybe we get 50 instead of 75, but I don't see a pause. I do not see a pause. This is saying here that consumers aren't quite feeling that squeeze yet to the point where they're starting to tighten their pocketbooks.
Yeah, man. That's one of the things that Fed Chair Powell said. I think it was 2 statements ago, along with seeing a sustained decrease, but he also wanted to see the spending slow down. That was one of his major points when people were talking about, oh, we're technically in a recession. He said, well, people are still spending money, and we need to see the spending slow down. That was one of his biggest points. So I don't see them changing direction anytime soon either.
Yeah. We're just not there yet. All right, just not there yet. So we look at the dollar now, which is starting to creep in, right? You have people like Bezos telling folks, maybe not buy that big screen TV. That's what I saw in one interview. Maybe hold back on some of that. So maybe what comes before consumers tightening their pockets are layoffs, right? And higher unemployment numbers, because we do see the cutbacks coming. We see some of the major corporations starting to announce some numbers. And a lot of times that, sadly to say, that happens before the holidays. So we'll see. So I'm not one to tend to fall for the market rallies that we're getting. I still know, right? Ryan, you know, all of us know, being part of this group, is that inflation is still an issue globally. And every central bank is doing what they can to bring that under control. It's their number one priority, right? And some central bankers, some say, you know, they're not going to do it, you know, at the expense of the economy. Some central bankers are saying, hey, we got to do what we got to do, despite of economic growth. Got to get the genie back in the bottle somehow. So we'll continue to monitor and see what's going on. We click over, take a look at the US dollar on the daily. We are still at this daily support level and at this 382, and it's trying to form a low, right? So we'll know in another day if that support, right, is gonna hold. So it's a previous level, and now, right, we pushed past it, didn't close, and now we're on the verge of creating, right, another level of support in the same area. So we shall see. That's the cash is in the buy zone. Weird times we are in, right? Weird times we are in. So we'll see if that dollar can gain some momentum. Trying to think of you know, the catalysts that are out there that'll send it moving back to the upside. Maybe Ryan, you know, more fears of recession pushes people still towards the dollar, since it's still favorable. But I'm wondering when, since, man, seems like a while now, people may start to move back towards that yen as a safe haven. I haven't seen it as of late, but that's traditionally how it goes. The yen acts as a safe haven, but people have been favoring the dollar because of the yields and things like that. But what are your thoughts on that?
That's so interesting because because the Bank of Japan still isn't budging. I think it'll be difficult unless things start to or things continue to heat up in Ukraine.
Yeah,
I think if we get a continued escalation there, I think the yen could start to feed off of that a little bit.
Yeah.
But it is difficult with the climate they're in because the Bank of Japan is staying firm on where they are, which what they're saying is kind of playing out. You know what I mean? We get those small retracements. So, but I think that if that occurs, that'll be the catalyst, is a increase in Ukraine or some other geopolitical scenario. China and Taiwan. That's another scenario that's still working in the background. So scenarios like that, I think could be a catalyst for the yen to pick up some steam.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I think people are still favoring that dollar as a safe haven for the time being. The 10-year, I looked at it today. I think it's back under 4, but it's still 3.7.
Still high.
Yeah, so you're able to lock in a return. Again, not as high as putting your money at risk in the stock market, but there's a lot of uncertainty, right? So yeah, so we'll see. I'm interested to see if this level is going to hold. So we click over and we look at like the UCAD, okay, and we can see how we're kind of getting that lift off that level on the DXY, and you can see here. Let me get this out of here. So we were looking at this last night, and you can see how price is starting to react. So the DXY is reacting to the upside, and you can see this UCAD set up at this daily support at 132. And you can see how it's moving sideways and it's trying to break out a little bit top side. So just continuing to be patient with the US dollar as we've gotten a nice sizable correction now. So we may, on the heels of the retail sales, we may continue to see that creep up at the top. So that's where we are on the UCAD. If we go down through the time frames, we can see, right, we made down ABCD moves on that correction, and now you can see the swing off the B boundary. Okay, and one of the things, right, how we were looking at that price action last night, if it confuses you, right, then just take your fibs off and know that, hey, I'm at a level where price may react, and you can watch it. Okay, see, all right. So if we come back up, I don't have that. I redid the charts. I didn't bring that daily level back down, but that should be right in line with that 4 anyway, somewhere around there. But there we go. So you can see it finding support. Okay. So that 4-hour and that daily is the same. Oops. Squeeze this down. And we can see that we're starting to get bullish somewhat. Now, you go down to the 1. Okay. Here's that swing. Okay. And again, just know, right? If it gives you more clarity to say, hey, price has reached a key level of support from the higher time frame. Again, bringing those levels down allows you to get on the chart that you like and see everything at a glance. Right? So you can see how we're starting to get this push. I can get these levels out now. That was the short. That's all done for now. Stop loss can come out of there. And we can clean this up a bit. All right, like that. All right. Okay. There you go. So you can say, hey, got a little consolidation there, testing that level. Okay, and now we're starting to move out of that a little bit. Okay, just like that. So you can use the fib on a higher time frame and say, you know what, I'm in an area that may be favorable for potential reversal, right at the edge of the buy zone. Okay, and now we're starting to see it move up. Okay, and you can play it accordingly. Now it's just getting going, so you can say, hey, if I'm not buying right off the level, then maybe I'm just going to wait, right? Gonna let this push up a little bit. All right, come into my zone. And then when I get an opportunity, I'll look and wait for potential pullback. All right. Hey, I want some more evidence, right? That it's ready to go long. Just be patient with it. If you don't like to enter the market aggressively, all right, off those levels, and let it make some progress, right? Boom, like that. So we'll continue to watch that. continue to watch that UCAD, but that's where we are. Okay. So once your setup is there, it doesn't matter which, chart you decide to play it on. Okay, that's totally up to you and your style. We can't make that decision for you. Okay. There's really no best one. It's just the one that suits you as a trader. So there. You can see how on your 5, you've already got waves, right? Smaller waves, lower time frame. And you can see right there, off this move, that's an ABCD wave. That's probably going to hit that extension. Okay, so just like that on your 5-minute, off the pullback, right? 60 pips or so off that level. Okay, and that's on a 5-minute chart. Okay, so if we come here off the long, okay, see, so depending on what time frame you like to trade on, you can already be up in this trade. Okay, that's consolidation. So we'll manually draw that like that to the edge of that consolidation and get to that lowest point. Yeah. All because you know how to draw some horizontal lines, support and resistance, bring it down, and then let price react. Let the trades come to you and fall right in your lap, just like that. There. Okay. 15-minute, 5-minute, doesn't matter. Absolutely. Fundamental talk, fundamentals, yeah. It's fascinating. It affects our everyday lives, whether we like to admit it or not. It does. It does. So it's good to have some idea about it, even if you weren't trading. All right, it's good. Stuff is good to know. Yep. Any questions on the UCAD?
No, sir.
All right.
No.
All right. All right. Cool. So that's that. So just that little move, understanding, hey, this is a reaction zone. You can already be up in a position. Okay. You can already be up in a position. And that's just fundamentally, I'm bullish the dollar. Okay. Overall. So it's one of those things where as long as it doesn't take out the A, it has no choice but to go my way. This is why I trade small, because I'm not trying to be exact. That's a painful way, or at least it was for me, to trade the market, because the market isn't perfect, right? The market isn't perfect. So I'm not trying to get a perfect entry. I'm just trying to get somewhere in the zone that I think the probability is high and favorable, which is why I don't put all my money on a particular trade. Trade 0.5%, 1/4%, build into the position as it starts to go in your direction. Right? You don't have to put the standard right here. You don't. You can if you want. Some people trade like that. But for me and my lifestyle as a trader, my psychology is just, hey, I'll just drip trades in, right? Because if this is the U-turn point, right, then your projected extension is way up there over the long term, right? Even if you just go from resistance level to resistance level, right? You got a little ways. So I'm in no rush to go all in, right? Because then it gives me room if I'm wrong, right? It gives me room if I'm wrong, okay? Which oftentimes you'll be wrong. Okay, that's just how the game goes. All right, so that's the UCAD. Let's take a look at this dollar Swiss, all right? Because it could gartly, right? It could give you that pull back and then head down deeper. It can. Okay, you manage your trade from there, but at least you're not all in it to get caught in that. All right, so all right, let me go back on that. Right, so you may be, right, this is a longer term swing perspective, but you can see just in that little move on a 5-minute, you're closing in, right, on 60 pips or so. That may be all you want, and that's fine. So I just want everybody to know that there's no extra points given for holding on to a trade forever. Everybody follow me, drop me a 2 in the chat. right? You don't have to become that to be successful, right, in the markets. In fact, you never have to, right? This may be your play. Okay, this may be your play. So you may say, you know what? I get to this D extension. Here's my trade. Because this is important for everybody to know, right? Not out to prove anything to anybody, right? There's no extra kudos. Hold the trade. Look, this may be you right here. Entry. And my take profit. Boom. Danny, that's all I wanted. It's cool, right? It's good. The key is knowing your top down analysis and say, you know what, this may be bullish for a while. So I'm gonna take my profit here, you know. But I'm gonna continue to note and be bullish on the dollar because my bias is bullish. That'll give me confidence to when the next time this sets up, right? Next time we get a favorable setup that falls in line with my trade plan, right? Then I can look to get involved with that again, right? Here, like so. Okay. Right? Because I'm bullish on the dollar. Okay? And if you're wrong, the market's going to tell you you're wrong. Why? It's going to take your stop out. Okay? It'll take your stop out if you're wrong. Okay? But if I ride a C to D here and I make 60 pips, and then I come back here, right? And I lose 35 pips or so, I'm still positive, right? I'm still net positive, right? So our risk to reward ratio is important, okay? That's that. All right, so then I wanted to make sure I didn't leave that point out. It's a very, very, very important one. Now, back to our dollar Swissy, okay? Where we're kind of caught in this range. You can see DXY is trying to get some support. We're finding support here at 93.82 on this dollar Swiss, right? And it's making a move up. So how do we transfer that? I've identified that there's a possible range here, bigger range. Okay, trade ranges bottom to top, top to bottom. Okay, 675 if it's time, right? So how do you do that? Okay, well, we go down to our lower time frame. Okay, again, the waves brought us down here. Potential U-turn point, new AB boundary. You guys see, it's the same stuff. Okay, take it off if you want to. Start deploying your trend lines, right? Or if you use a cloud, whatever you use for your entry, moving averages, crossovers, whatever. Okay, here's that trend line again. And then we know from before, right? We're ranging still. Okay, so here's that outer trend line. I'm not going to draw this inner trend line to the outside of consolidation because this is just clean what we talked about, right? This is just, let's break out. Let's make some higher highs and higher lows. Okay, like so. Let's get things moving in the direction, right, that we favor. Like that. Right. So that's where we are on the dollar Swiss. Trying to pick up some momentum. There's the box from last night on the one. See that? Okay. So you look at this range. It's a 100 pip range, right? So if you come down to the 5 minute, like this, if you like trading ranges, look at it like, wow, that's a 100 pip range. I might be able to get involved in that. Okay. How do I get involved in that? Price reaches the bottom of your range. Okay. It's out. Right, somewhere up here in the zone. Okay. Trade from bottom to top, top to bottom, until price breaks out. Okay. 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 And price reaches the top of your range, and it wants to start making its way back down. Try your trend lines the other way until it breaks out. That's how you can trade the range. Okay. Want extra confirmation? Use this stochastic. It's my stochastic in the buy zone when it reaches the bottom of the range. It's my stochastic in the sell zone when it reaches the top of the range. Do I get a trend line break? Right. If it reaches the top, pushes, breaks my trend line, do I get a bearish candle, close backside of the trend line? Well, this may be moving back down. Okay. So that's how you can trade ranges. Questions on the dollar Swiss?
No.
All righty. Okay. UJs, take a look at it. All right. Straighten this out. Okay. Find us some support. Okay. So if we get that close, we'll have another level of support here, right? So you probably already have it on the 4, right? Coming in. See here? You already have it on the 4. So this is our 80-20 play, letting us know that there's a probability that, hey, we may have a U-turn here. Okay. And if it's going to go for the long haul, then it's going to cut through all of these levels, these targets, and it's just going to continue long after that. But we don't know, right? We don't know with everything that's going on, right? So in the shorter term, we could trade these levels, okay, and manage our positions, knowing that, hey, on my higher time frame, right, we might be in a nice little U-turn zone here. Okay. At least back up above 140.34. Maybe we get back to 143, right? It's 300 pips. It's 300 pips. So we'll pay attention to that, right? So again, there's your targets, short-term targets. If you don't want the fib on there, same stuff, right? And for our newer folks, right? Same approach, no matter what the pair, because it's not the pair that's really important. It's the price action, understanding the price action. That's the key. Okay. So you've got another bit of that's not a level, guys. It's just an entry. All right. So here, okay, breakout is that 140.34. Okay. And then the move up. Okay. Draw a trend line. Okay. We know we've got this level here. It's range bound a little bit. We need price to break out. So we want, right? Because unlike the other pair where it would have been so narrow, you could draw it to the edge of your consolidation right now. See if it'll break. That's just extra confirmation. You got a trend line break, and I've got a break of resistance. Try to get it to close above. It's been trying. Okay, real small candles. All right, real small candles. So we'll see. We'll see if that can accelerate and start getting us back to these levels on the dollar yen. And this is our setup, right, from last night. Example we were given. So same type scenario, still trying to break above this 140. All right, questions on the dollar yen? Good. All right. So let's take a look at the NZD USD. Reaching some levels, right? So this seems like forever ago now, right? We're at 80.20. That was a monster, right? Move off the zone. Okay. Monthly resistance. Okay. 80.20 zone pushed up. Now we're at this daily level, 61.64. So if we zoom out here and we just take a look at it, right? Took the fib off. Let's look at the price action and the structure. 61.64. This is a zone. Okay. So somebody tell me, right? How could we potentially play this? What would your scenarios be? Your if thens, right? That we talk about. Okay. Just look at this. Okay. Got to break at a trend line, but we're running right back into this support. I'm clear this out. So somebody tell me, what are you thinking? You see this? Anybody?
One scenario could be if price breaks that support, and if it breaks it with force, with momentum going up, and then wait for a retest of it, come back. I'm sorry, if price breaks that resistance level right there, with momentum, let it come down and retest that support and head on up. We could draw a trend line across, which it would be testing the back of that trend line as well. That could be our confirmation.
Okay. All right. So a possible break of resistance and a retest and a continuation?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else? Swing high forming, Joey downside, right? Which I think you were about to say that as well. That's another scenario. Okay. Fundamentally, what are we thinking? New Zealand versus the dollar. What are we thinking?
It looked like a new AB boundary is about to form on a continuation to the downside.
Okay. All right. New AB boundary. Okay. Reset. We got a new swing high that's trying to form. See how it's holding below that level?
Yeah.
Okay. Bennett, dollar strong.
Can you put a fib on the daily as well, going down?
Yep.
Thank you.
For sure. I got a stochastic, right? So we're bought flat, a little flat, starting to rise a bit.
I was
And
kind of
also there's I'm sorry. Also there's a new AB boundary found on the 4 hours. If you put the if you put the fib going up from the last low.
Nice, nice. Stochastics in the buy zone on the 4. We got a little misalignment, don't we?
Yeah.
yeah, so if you go back on a daily, and now you put a sub fib from this low of 54.63. I look at 1,080.20.
Yep. And we're right up around that D extension. So everybody's spotting it, right? This is a temporary, right, exhaustion zone up against a prior level, okay? Past support becoming future resistance, okay? So it might be proven a strong, is proving potentially that it's a strong level again, right? So we have to be patient, but we have to identify that that's a potential opportunity, right? To where we may get a move to the downside on that. So the key is, right, being patient, seeing how we close out the new day, right? Does this give us, right? Does it hold in the zone? All right. Got all types of things point towards this could be a potential exhaustion area. Okay. Okay. So if it holds and it pushes down, right? Even back to your trend line is over, right? What is that? 200 pips. Okay. 200 pips. Okay. So let alone if it makes it back here, you got a level here, right? Which you'll see on the lower time frames here. So just price action. So we got the fib on there, getting close to a 382, where we might get price to react. All right. So what we could do is go down and see the lower time frames. Okay. And I want to spend a lot of time on this, right? Because it's easy to get caught up, right, with the fib measuring out the overall longer term move. Okay. But when you're looking for an opportunity, always start out with what? Your price action and your structure. So what could be a new daily level of resistance, you already have it on the 4, right? Okay. Like that. So you already have it on the 4. So let me clear these out. Like this. See that? See? Just bring it from the top down. Okay. It's moving sideways. Not convinced on that yet. These smaller candles. Okay. Give me something convincing that'll break this support. See? So you see how the building blocks like we talked about last night are starting to form. Okay. So we continue to be patient. Okay. Because then it's just a matter of how do I look. See why that's so powerful? See that? I know where the area, I know what area I'm in. Okay. But at the end of the day, right, we're just dressing up price action that we all can see. That's all. Look. Okay. There it is. So it's just a matter of, I didn't want to break down. All right. Okay. See? That's it. If not, It's going to go the other way. The market moves up, down, and sideways. Okay. That's the framework. That's the structure. That's it. Okay. Any questions on that?
Can you show your fib on the 1 hour again?
Which one? The one I just drew, or
No, not the one you just drew, the initial fib on the 1 hour.
coming from the top? Probably took it out. Might have taken it out by now. It pushed so high in the zone, on that 4 hour zone. See?
Right.
That was a huge move once it got going. It whipped around, right? Which is threw your fibs all over the place. But we clean break, enter the outer trend line. That's how price likes to gravitate oftentimes. Enter the outer trend line. Yep.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
So that's where we are now. That's where we are. So be patient and see what happens. Okay? Now, you may be the type of trader that says, hey, I'm on my 4 hour, I sell, right, at resistance. I got a swing higher form, I'm selling, right? You might just play just the raw price action like this. Boom, put my stop up above there. Okay. I'm short. Okay. I got my risk management. I know what I want to see. Okay. So if I'm short now, right? If I was short, what is that? All right. Then you're just figuring it out. That's 80 pips. So maybe I'm trying to get 160, or that's 2 to 1, or 1 to 1.5, right? Use my support level. So back to support first. Maybe I lock in some profit. If it breaks that, then we continue down. Okay. Setting targets for yourself. Okay. But this is how you can also play the game. And you're just using fibs as confirmation. But then we get right back down to the price action. Everybody follow me on that? Drop me a 1. Okay. All right. Build the confidence in yourself so you can tear these charts up. It's moving 3 ways. We always say, right? It's actually very primitive. Up, down, and sideways. It's our brains that complicate things. All right. So see if that's gonna hold, right? Remember, so higher time frame is still developing. Okay. Still developing. Okay. All right. So let's move up. Take a look at the Aussie dollar, right? Okay. So I took fibs off, right? Because I wanted us to just, on some of these at least, I was able to get to. I wanted us to just look at this. Lower lows and lower highs. Look how it's worked its way back. Look how it broke the level and found its way back. Okay. This is what we mean by just getting on your chart sometimes, just looking at it, marking it up and looking at it. We know we can run fibs to bring us to high probability reversal zones, okay? But that's happened now. Now, so how do we build a plan off of it? Okay, this one's a little different, just slightly different, because where price is. So anybody want to tell me what's the thought process here? You got on your chart, you did your ritual over the weekend, you set up all your levels, and now you see this. What are you thinking?
Yeah, so looking at the chart, I can see that there is a possible pullback to the downside. And also looking at the stochastic, it's overbought at 98%. So there's a probability that price is going to fall, and waiting for price to break that support to the downside. And if it breaks, then I'm in to the 6388 level.
Gotcha. I can dig it. I can dig it, right? We're trying to form it, and you hit the nail right on the head, right? We want to see a break and a close back below, right? That 66.98 level since it broke above, right? Because it can hold and continue to push higher. Excellent. Excellent. Right? That's the thought process. Are you right all the time? Nope. That's why we use risk management. But this is what it is. Okay. So we've got the Aussie dollar. We had commodities rally, right? And it rallied. It did. It moved to the upside. Nice little bump. And we asked ourselves, right? Is that going to be sustainable? That's just a bear rally in the market. Right? Risk on, commodities typically do good. Dollar made a correction. Boom, we moved up. Now we're kind of settling in a little bit. So the question is, like you said, do we break back below, break and close below the 66.98? Right. All from the daily. So if we go down to the 4, right? It's the fib. Come off the higher time frame, but look. Right? Because we know it's not just a line, right? It's a zone. It's a zone, right? Two levels framing it out here, like that. All right. It's a beautiful picture, right? Get outside the frame on your higher time frames and then zoom back in. Okay. That's why we say that all the time. It's hard to see the picture when you're in the frame. That's how the saying goes. It's the same thing in trading. Zoom out. Don't get caught in the weeds on your lower time frames. Okay. Okay. And that was an excellent observation, right? A break back below 66.98. Why? Because it held here. It held here. Look. It held. Boom. It's when it got back below 66.98 that the sell pressure came in. Okay. Now, if you're looking at your 4, we already know that, right? Just by seeing it visually, that's resistance. All right, got the daily there. Here's a 4. Okay. Okay. Now mark that because see that level? Got a reaction. Now, we know that if it crashes through that level, we can't be surprised if it pulls back into that zone. Okay. Use your fibs to set you up where, hey, high probability U-turns, zones, and then the rest is price action, everybody. It's price action. Okay. Maybe if it moves and pushes up, I don't want to take it here, right? I don't want to take it here, but right, retest and I get above here, I got a little bit more room. Right? I might play that break 69.15 and 71.41. Just lines on the chart, everybody. Just lines on the chart. Right? And sometimes what you'll notice when you have stochastic misalignment, right? So if we look at our daily here, and we come down and we look at our 4 here, opposite ends of the spectrum, right? That's kind of in the middle. Somebody tell me what they think happens with the price action sometimes when you have the time frame misalignment with your stochastic. No guesses?
The profit taken.
No. I get where you're at with that though. All right. You could that's the price. That's looking at the divergence is looking at the price action with the stochastic, right? We're just looking strictly at the stochastic, like, wow, I got one stochastic, right? So your divergence would be, hey, I've got price still rising up, but my stochastic is turning over, right, to move sell side, okay, or vice versa too. But I'm looking at just my stochastics. I got one in the sell zone, one in the buy zone. So what happens, right? You'll see sometimes is that your price action on a chart will just go like this, right? See, it'll just move sideways and it'll get rangy on you sometimes, right? But we know, right, how it cycles, okay? 7 to 11 candles, oftentimes, not all the time, depending on the market momentum, 7 to 11 candles from bottom to top, top to bottom, okay, each time frame. So we're in the sell zone on the daily. Well, we know this cycle is going to happen faster on your 4 hour and your 1 hour. So when you get back up to the top, right, of this being overbought, your daily stochastic will still be in the sell zone. And then you might start to see things push down. Okay, so not all the time, but that's one of the things you can look for with your stochastics. Like, man, I got misalignment. And then you get in a trade that looked like it was ready to move in your direction, but you think it was going to explode, and then it just gets choppy on you for a while, right? So sometimes that can be a sign, is that when your stochastics are misaligned going through your time frames, okay? The weekly, not so much, because a weekly and monthly stochastics that's going to take forever. Think about that, right? We're talking about 7 to 11 candles from bottom to top, top to bottom. Oftentimes, that's 7 to 11 months. Okay, so not so much what we're worrying about, but when you can look at your daily and on down from there and take a look at that, right? So you see how it's kind of bouncing around in the zone a little bit. That might be one of the reasons why. Okay, might be one of the reasons why that it's bouncing. So we'll see. We'll see. But these are beautiful zones to be patient and wait for. Okay. You don't have to have a million transactions to make money in this market. You don't. There's no correlation. I say it all the time. To more trading and more money. Right? Never been proven. Right? Sit, be patient. So that's the Aussie dollar. I want to take a look at what I have written down. Some price action scenarios for us to take a look at. Aussie, NZD, right? So you can see this one here, right? Take this off, clean up a little bit. But you see that reaction? Look at this. Look how beautiful that is, right? You see this break? Okay. All right, look at that. Okay. See that? See that huge impulse move? Boom. See that? Okay. All right. See? Okay. So the beautiful thing about fibs is, hey, overall direction, where to get in, where to get out. Okay. See, because I can play these levels here back to here. Okay. And you can make a lot of money doing that. Okay. Or you can measure it out and say, well, the math tells me, yeah, I got these levels, but if that momentum continues, this trade could possibly go here based on the correction, right? AB equals CD. AB equals CD. Right? That's it. Okay.
And there's also an AV boundary form on the daily.
What'd you say?
AV boundary form on the daily as well.
On the daily? Mm-hmm. You run your fib from the top.
Yeah.
Right. See? So if we come down, if we push through this level, we'll hit that D extension right on the nose. Right? Boom. Stochastic in the sell zone. Okay. That's what you're looking at. So I always say the fibs just dress up the price action, but you want to be able to see this consistently first, right? You want to be able to mark your charts up and see this consistently first and understand how price moves, right? And a lot of times that's the part that people skip over, right? But this right, that's it. Look, everybody can see that. I know it. Look. If you can see that, you can do some damage. Okay. Okay. Back to the basics. That's all. That's where we are, right? So once you get your direction and you pinpoint at U-turn and it starts to move in your direction, right? Then you may trade these and say, like we had on the other chart, okay, I got a retest of a prior level. And if you want to wait, right, which I like to do it because, you know, some people, they'll trade at that level like right away because they just don't want the trade to get away from them. But, and then it is what it is. I want to see that because if you know, right, we understand that 5 candle combination now. We understand what gives us the foundation for support and resistance, that swing high and that swing low, right? That pattern. So I like to let it react, give me that, right? Look, 2 to the left, 2 to the right, okay? And then I can take it, right? Maybe you look for that on the 1 hour, okay? It's your choice. And then you can just play it like that. Right? And then you divide, right? Take your risk, divide it by your stop loss, get into the trade, measure your targets, and go with it. That's without a fib. That's just putting your line. And listen, everybody, the smart traders, it gives it to you, right? It gives you the levels, right? You bring your data. These are smaller 4-hour levels if you wanted to trade smaller zones. But it just hit it. It draws it out for you. The reason why we put the horizontals over those levels is because with Smart Trader, once price breaks a level, the line disappears. But I need that level for the retest. All right. So that's that. That's that. So this move here on the daily, center candle, huge reaction off that level. 2 to the right close. Right. Bang. I'm trying to get, I'm in there. It's a daily level. That's a huge distance, right? But you divide your risk by your stop loss. That way I know, regardless of how large the stop may be, I'm only out 1/4%, 0.5%, 1%. Regardless, that's the easy math. Take your risk, 1%, divided by your stop loss. You're like, hey, that's small. That's trading too small. Well, either go down to a lower time frame and do it, or put some more money in your account. Figure out a way to get some more money in your account. But that's the math. That's how you always stay protected and stay disciplined. Right. So one trade, you're 1%, you may be able to trade that. You may be able to trade that at 5 micros. Another setup might come your way, and you do the math, and you may be able to trade it at 1 mini lot. But if both of those trades get stopped out, I'm out of 1% each. I'm only out of 1%. The magic's in the math. That's how you have staying power in the market. All right. So you don't have to ever shoot from the hip. Okay. Questions? No questions. So
No.
hopefully that's a good thing. Either this is clear or everybody's confused. So I hope those are usually two things that get fired back at me. So I hope it's that everything is clear, right? And that you can see it. All right. Can I ask a question about the Telegram group towards the end? You can ask that. Go ahead, Denise. You can ask it.
Hi, Benny. Thank you. Okay, I filled out that form for the Telegram group, and I sent it. And I had a Telegram account, so I deleted it and I added it back, but I still don't see the group. So I just wondered, like, what I was doing wrong that I can't see the group.
Hey, Denise, can you send us send me your Telegram username? And send it to the forextraderoom@gmail.com, and I'll take a look to see what's happening.
Username, Telegram username. Okay.
Yep.
Oh boy. Okay, I'll have to try and find that. Okay.
If you just click on settings, it'll show you the name that you have.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great question.
Yes, sir. Quick question
Mhm.
about the Telegram group, just to follow up on that. I'm only on the one that just have maybe like when you guys post any of the trading that's coming up based on you guys ideas. But is there another group that you have to like post yours as well?
Yep, I will. I'll send out an update with that link to that secondary chat for you guys. I'll send that out here shortly.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Let's get active in that chat. I'm looking for ideas too from all of you. Like, it can't be one-sided. You guys got to show me some love. I know you guys are trade stuff.
Go ahead.
Can I just ask one more question? If you could send the link or tell me where to look so that I can purchase that calculator.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. If you matter of fact, here we go. I'm gonna put it in. Put the link to the calculator in the chat.
Oh. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Tony, Tony, is that you saying add you to the list?
Yes, sir. That's me.
Okay.
List for
which one? Which one, Tony?
I'm sorry, Telegram group.
Are you in the Telegram group, Tony?
Yeah, but the one that I'm in, we can just see stuff. We can't put anything in.
Gotcha. I'll send out a link to I'll send it out in Telegram to that primary chat. The link for the secondary group. I got you.
Thanks, sir.
You're welcome.
Where's the secondary group? What's that?
I'm going to send out a link for it.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Thank you.
But what Benny was saying about you guys' ideas, it's extremely important. We Bradley asked a question earlier in the chat about the 80-20s, and he's working on getting his consistency there. So it's important, that you guys share your ideas, right? So that we can see them. We might like to take those trades too, but also we can give you feedback that way as well, right? So if we get active in the chat, you sharing your ideas, also sharing your charts to say, this is what I'm looking at. Can you guys give me some feedback? Absolutely, right? And we can take a look to see at what's happening, or if it's trades that you won or trades that you lost, we can look at before and afters, right? And so we can really start to connect those dots that way. We talk about doing the homework, right? But we can start helping you. We can start helping you to connect the dots and looking at, okay, this is the trade that you took. This is where you entered. This is where your stop loss was. This is what price action did, right? And we can walk back through the process to identify areas that we might be able to tweak to become better, right? So don't hesitate to get active in it, like Benny's saying. It's really, really, really important for us to do that.
Absolutely.
And sorry, just one more time. You're going to send us the link so we will know where to put those charts? Is that my understanding?
I'll
have that sent out in the next 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, because at first, because when we originally started the group, there was no Telegram because we didn't want it to be like we really got into this with a passion for education. So we didn't want it to just be like a signal service, even though we get pushed more and more for that every day. Like people email us about signals, right? So we tend to post the idea in a chart, which, to try to give some type of technical explanation for it. Yeah. So people are still learning. But we are coming to the conclusion that some people just want signals. So there's something we have to think about in the future with our platform and just sending out signals. But that secondary chat was requested by a lot of our members so they can go back and forth, like Ryan is saying. And then they went on vacation a lot. I don't know. So it's like tumbleweed blowing through that chat. It's like the bad guy came to town in the old Western or something. So just make sure that, utilize it, right? So that you not only get feedback from us, like Ryan is saying, but that you get feedback from everybody else, from your inner circle members as well. Like fire that chat up, throw that stuff out there for us to take a look at. And so we all can learn. And so we all can compress time frames, and shorten the learning curve as well. I need the newsletter sent also from this past week. Hold on a second. I can post that real fast.
Also for the Telegram is only for inner circle members. So this link is not to be shared with anyone.
Right. Okay? Because that's when you're gonna start getting Tupperware offers and buy my t-shirt stuff in there.
Yeah.
Which is what we don't want. So yeah, right. Use that, be honorable in using that. So nobody wants to get spammed to death. All right, so there we are. I'm looking at this. This might be this. I wanted the market. You're welcome. I saw the market started to kind of. We start to move towards risk off, and it starts to pick up some momentum to the downside there, looking like it's trying to. This is on the daily. So, yep. Any other questions?
Yes, just one question. Where will the second group Telegram be posted again?
I'm working on sending that right now.
Okay, nice one. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Gotcha. All righty. Anybody else? The market's starting to move a little bit. This hold on there. Hold on now. That's starting to push sell side. What's going on? Anything? Let me all right. So do we have any other questions in the chat before we close out?
Benny, just a quick question on the ATR. I was looking at the ATR and it's a bit confusing for me considering how it is translated on the chart. For example, looking at that 0.163. How do you represent that in terms?
Like one, I had to go back and look at it again. With how I got this originally programmed from my mentors, I think it's 116.3. But I'll double check on that for you for that setup for the ATR on that. This is on the daily too, and it's based on a 20 period. So I think it's 116.3. But I'll double check for you.
Okay.
Yep. Good question. Really good question. Let me see. Oh, that's it. All right, Ryan, anything before we wrap things up?
No, man, phenomenal session, bro. Phenomenal session.
Appreciate it.
The link I sent out in the general Telegram chat for the Inner Circle members open chat. So you guys, I'm seeing you guys tap into that already. So perfect. So you guys should be good there. I sent the link to the calculator in the Zoom chat. So if you guys needed that, you click on the link there. Benny just shared the link to the newsletter for this week. You can check that out as well. It's also posted in the Telegram group as well. So you can check it out there as you join the Telegram. Miss Denise, if you can send that email with the username.
Yes.
Once I get that email, I'll look into what's happening on our side, if there's anything there, and I'll correspond with you via email.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And that's it.
That's it.
Continue diving in, good people. We got a lot in store, a lot coming up in the near future. So hang in there with us, keep grinding, get active in that chat. It's time to go to another level.
Indeed. Great session, everybody. Lots of great questions and feedback. We'll see you tomorrow. 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the pre-New York session. You're welcome. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Take care.
Take care.